Hello. Good morning, everyone. I don't even think it's morning yet. It's about 5:30, I think. I've already taken my shower. I've put the food out for the chickens already. I'm closing down the windows a little bit because we're supposed to be getting a storm. Okay. I'm sitting there because I get up early. So I think I was up at 3:30 today. And I'm thinking, and I thought to myself, I need to share this conversation with you all. Did I say this is the Abundance Oracle already? Please subscribe if you can. This is not going to be a feel-good movie. Oh, we're at the beach. We're sticking our feet in the sand. This is going to be a reality check maybe for some people, maybe not. So, what we're going to talk about today is a big world picture. Not a big world picture, a big United States picture in the economy. And some of you who are watching maybe don't know me and what I've done in the past and what I'm very, very good at. And so I'm going to tell you because you wouldn't know by looking at me. And even maybe listening to me. But I manage money for one of the top 2 firms in the United States. And I had ultra high net worth individuals that I helped. My team, actually, I had a couple people because there wasn't enough time for me to do all the jobs. And so I didn't have tons of clients, but I had very, very wealthy clients. And consequently, I did very well in life because I was good at looking into all the little teensy pieces of what's happening, not just what gets put on the news, but talking to people that had a lot of money, billions, and some people that I took care of that were not that well off. And not that well off in my industry means, people, maybe $100,000 in savings or less. So I'm just telling you the truth, whether you like what I have to say or not. This is the way it was. I am very good at forecasting. And for the past, I was going to say 6 months, but for the past year, I've been trying to figure out for myself, for my personal investing, what my stance was going to be on things and how I can profit from it. And I'm going to share my background thoughts in my brain with you. Some of you may find this very boring, and some of you maybe not. If it's boring, just get off and wait till the next beach, fun, nice, feel good video. If you hear music in the background, it's because it's probably 5:45, because that's when the greenskeeper at the greenskeeping team at the golf course next door, I'm right on the 18th hole and the first hole, they start taking care of things for the golfers in the that will come not till around 8 o'clock. Okay, you're going to just have to pound through this and listen. So I've been thinking every 7 to 10 years, roughly, the system is set up to purge out the wealth in the stock market. The gold and silver sales are suppressed. They are manipulated and managed to keep the prices down. There's now a new sector coming in, BlackRock, Larry, who runs BlackRock, Fink, who I used to present to some of my clients. He has funds now for the real estate where they accumulate not just individual houses or commercial property. He has been, over the last decade, accumulating contractors, very large contractors that are going bankrupt or need to get out. I don't know how well you all know the 2008 pullback in real estate. And when you got to see it, it actually started way before 2008. The public actually was aware around 2008 that there's a big problem. But people started seeing and forecasting it back 2005, 2006. So right now we're already past that forecasting part and everything is coming full circle, and the public soon is going to be aware of this. And because we have artificial intelligence, and usually what AI stood for me was alternative investments, but I'm going to talk about right now artificial intelligence. There's going to be a massive, massive loss in jobs as these robots are going to be mass produced, and they can take away a lot of white collar jobs, analytical jobs. They can take away a lot of mass production jobs. There's going to be a huge, huge quantity of people with job losses. And there probably will either be a universal basic income, like, Social Security sends out to 65 and older. You get a check deposited into your account every month. Universal basic income will have to start being more robust, whether it's going to be just the poorest people in our nation that can't find a job, that don't have any specialized skills that AI can't take over, or even the middle class. I've seen a lot of middle income people start losing things because what they invested in was not hardcore assets. What do I mean by that? Gold, silver, real estate, investing in channels, online sales, investing in industries that are going to be upcoming and booming. I myself have avoided cryptocurrency mostly, but it looks like Trump is going to have that be in the mainstay at some point in time in the United States. So whether you like it or not, I think you're going to be forced to use it. It's going to be biometric, which means the phone you're going to get, or I don't know, some may sync up to certain phones already, but it'll either be retinal scan. I think what I'm hearing is energy. So everyone has a different energy. How they measure that, I'm not sure. I probably should research that, but I've got lots of stuff going on right now. So hard assets that go up in value and or If you're already set for income, producing solidified income, solidified assets that aren't fluctuating. And if they fluctuate mostly up. So let's go back to my list. Historically, gold and silver, gemstones, they've been what the public has used more so to hold on to their assets. You will not be getting any dividends from those things. That you're going to be storing at a well-equipped facility that's well guarded and everything else, if you have enough of that stuff, so that it's not stolen from you. But you won't be receiving any cash flow from that. So if you've set yourself up already to be independently wealthy with things that aren't going to be fluctuating, like, for example, you can have commercial real estate, but it has to be non-volatile commercial real estate. Anyone that owned office complexes, for example, office buildings, they are going broke because they've been empty for so long. And they're very, very hard to repurpose these commercial buildings. But if you have, like, one of the things I had that I 1031'd exchanged is a pawn shop. Pawn shop booming, booming, booming. So there's certain things that are doing very well. Okay, the other assets that you can have can be hard assets, can be rental properties. Everybody always needs a place to live. So that can produce your income on your day-to-day living. If you're not, you're retired, Social Security is going to go up, but it's going to go, the figures on inflation are manipulated. So inflation is much worse than what you're being told. Social Security only goes up by the amount that the government is calculating inflation is at. Consumer price index, or there's a lot of different things that go into it. So let's say you get what you feel is a phenomenal increase, a 50% increase in your Social Security. What you will need to maintain your lifestyle would be, for example, if you get a 50% increase, you would need to maintain your lifestyle a 55% or 60% increase. So if you are not personally in control of your abundance, of your ability to generate income from assets that you do not have to spend your time, too much time on, then your living status is going down. And as, I know this is not going to be a popular thing to say, but as you get older in age, the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare industry are very expensive. And the solution to a lot of your problems that you'll be told from the healthcare industry is going to get more and more expensive. You'll be told you'll need operations. You'll be told you need pharmaceuticals that can fix things. And as you start to be afraid if you don't do those things and you try other alternatives, which I can't discuss, as you know, on this channel, your money that you were planning on passing down for generational wealth will be diminished, 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 diminished. So it will go out of all these senior citizens back into the system But specifically to those big corporations ultimately that are the ones in charge of this system. So you're going to have two groups of people, and sooner rather than later. And I can't tell you exactly when, but it's going to be the people that are in charge of their future and are investing in things that will make them even wealthier and wealthier, or you're going to be in the other section, the middle class and the working class, for which mostly when they make their money, they're going to buy what they need in life. And after they get done with what they need, they're going to take and say, oh, finally, I have an extra $100. Honey, let's go out to dinner finally. We need a break. They're not going to say to themselves, I need to control my desires. I need to take that money and invest it in something that's I'm going to need in the future. Cash flow for the future. Investing in their businesses. Investing in equipment for their business. Investing in knowledge that they need for their business. Learning, not from educational institutions, learning from people who have already done what it takes to generate being independently wealthy. Now, I'm going to tell you, I like Richard Kiyosaki. He's done very well. He tells the truth. He puts it all out there, and people either follow along or they don't. The other person that is more hands-on is Laurel Langemeier. She's very good at taking a working class person and converting their business and their knowledge base into something that turns them into millionaires. And nowadays, millionaires aren't a big deal. There's a lot of millionaires around. She has a system set up, and hands-on system to help people step by step to get guidance if you keep plugging away. So anyway, you write to me below if you want to be connected. Okay, so I'm thinking to myself, I already have abundance, but I need to increase the level of my abundance because my children are at an age that they're not independently wealthy yet. They're getting there, but they're not independently wealthy yet. So I want to think of generational wealth, how I can make enough so that my kids are set, and then they can work on keeping their kids set. And times are changing, systems are changing, and you're going to need to educate yourself a lot more in new systems that are coming, not necessarily the old systems that you used, because what's going to be valuable are assets. And if you're spending your time traveling to Nantucket for a party, or you're going to spend your time on depreciating assets. What's a depreciating asset, Carol? If you're buying fancy clothes, if you're taking a lot of vacations, if you're redecorating your house constantly, if you're buying cars that go down in value. Actually, there's so many people, more than 2008 currently, that are not able to pay their car loans. And there's going to be very soon a massive quantity of used cars for sale. So I suggest if you must get a car in the next 2 years, that you look for an old, I'm not going to say old, a used car. You might even be able to find newer cars that are only 6 months, a year, 2 years old, that people haven't used that much, but they just can't afford the car because people have been trying to show off and upgrade so much so to what they think is bettering their status or their perception of what their status is, that they've purchased things that go down in value that will drag them back down instead of build them up. I remember when my grandmother died, she had 3 daughters. So my grandfather passed away before my grandmother. Then my grandmother, and they had 3 kids. So I will tell you a couple things. There were 3 kids. All 3 kids handled things extremely differently. One, and I'm not going to tell you which my mother is, but you can probably guess it. One did a lot of dinners out, fancy clothes, or not even fancy clothes, quantity of clothes, paying for things, like I think she redid her kitchen, all brand new, things like that. Okay. Number 2, bought a motor home. She was very thrilled to have a motor home. Motor homes are depreciating assets. You don't let them sit in your yard and have them go up in value. So that was a second daughter. And her whole family, so the first ones, let me just talk, the first one's family, none of them, which would be my cousins, none of them, and she only had a son and a daughter, none of them became wealthy. The second one, there was, did she had 4 children? Yeah, 4. 1 boy and 3 girls. None of them became wealthy. The third one invested in housing which she rented out for cash flow. And both of her children are independently wealthy. So that tells you something about what you're teaching your kids as well. They sometimes don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. So what you do, where you invest your money, how you conduct your life. What are the skills you're learning? Are they skills that you can use in the future that might be fading now, that make you more and more valuable? So this was a strange conversation, I understand, but I want you to look, what I want is not important. If you're committed to abundance, you need to look at what you have in your life. Is what you have and the knowledge you have increasing your wealth or decreasing your wealth? Is it appreciating or depreciating? And is it going to be increasing going forward or decreasing going forward? So this is a complex conversation, obviously, but let's start to look at it. I know it's not a fun abundance on the beach, but this is the conversations I have with my kids. Your kids, your kids should be able to save enough money and buy a house by the time now they may not want to necessarily. They want to they want to be married maybe first, but they should be able to have the down payment on a house by the time they're at the latest 26. And if your kids aren't doing that, I'm requesting you look at yourself. What did you not teach them? What do you need to learn so that you can teach them? You can learn yourself and you can teach them how to be independently wealthy, self-sustaining in all that you do. All that you do. Not just your investments. But right now it's important that you know how to have someone grow your food that's very healthy, or you knowing how to grow your food that's very healthy without all these additives. Either you're paying for someone to protect you, or you know how to protect yourself. Basic life skills that have been muted by the people that want to retain your money in the long haul. This is the Abundance Oracle. Please subscribe. I'm going to probably later today do another video on this for the people that are in the process of working on becoming sustainable, or are already sustainable. It might be 3 categories. I've got to figure it out. Love yourself. Take care of your body. Exercise, which I'm guilty of not exercising enough. I'm working around the house, but I spend too much time thinking and listening and reading. I have really wonderful friends. I want to tell you, yesterday was my birthday, so I'm sorry for not producing a video, but I went out and ate what I shouldn't have eaten. See, that's my eating, and exercise is my weakness. So, what? I went with a friend of mine, a newer friend actually, and sat outside on a patio right on the water having fish and chips. Children's size, because I'm trying to decrease the size of the bad stuff I eat. All right, I love you all. This is the Abundance Oracle. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. It helps me out, and I'd love to be able to talk to you more. Big hugs. Love you all. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.